Hello, welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd, and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm back with another update coming out from the war between Russia and Ukraine, and I've got lots of news I want to share with all of you today. So, we're going to start off with a news story coming out from Ukraine as a Ukrainian F-16 fighter pilot set a new record of 6 Russian missiles downed in one combat mission. This was allegedly on December 13th, 2024. And on that day, the Russians launched a major attack onto Ukraine. Almost 200 drones were fired and 90 different missiles also being fired at their country. This F-16 fighter pilot allegedly shot down 6 of these incoming missiles, marking a new record for any F-16 fighter pilot to shoot down this many missiles incoming into their territory. This was allegedly reported by Colonel Yuri Inat. This gentleman that you see right here on your screen, he is the head of the Public Relations Service of the Air Force Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Okay, so this is a very big story today, and I'll give you all the details on what happened here in just a little bit. We also have a couple other stories we're going to be discussing also, as we had reports today just breaking that on January 7th, just today, the Armed Forces of Ukraine also conducted a precision strike on a military command post of the 810th Separate Marine Brigade near Belaya. This is in the Kursk region, and this is just a little bit to the east of where majority of the fighting is taking place. And it looks like the Armed Forces of Ukraine have struck another military command post. And this actually just happened, I think, over the weekend on Saturday. I was not here on Saturday, but there was a report of a military command post also being struck in the Kursk region, and I believe it was also from the 810th Separate Marine Brigade from the Russian forces. So looks like they have struck another military command post. I don't have any video footage of that, but we do have some information talking about that today, and this information was just literally coming out in the last couple hours at the time that I record this. So we don't have all the details yet, but maybe later during the day or maybe tomorrow I can give you guys another update with some video footage if we happen to get that. Also, some reports of strikes inside of Ukraine today. We do have some injuries being reported in Ukraine as the Russians were heavily bombarding Ukraine today. We have some innocent people being harmed and buildings being destroyed inside of their territory today. So we'll talk about that also. So let's go ahead and jump into this. I've got lots of news I want to share with you guys. So we're going to start off here with this report on RBC Ukraine. It says Ukrainian F-16 pilot sets record for shooting down missiles in one flight. This is coming out today, January 7, 2025. It says right here, a Ukrainian F-16 fighter pilot set a record for shooting down enemy missiles during one of Russia's massive attacks on Ukraine. He destroyed 6 Russian cruise missiles in one combat flight, says Colonel Yuri Inat, head of the Public Relations Service of the Air Force Command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. On December 13th, 2024, Russia's launched almost 200 drones and more than 90 different missiles at Ukraine. During such attacks, cruise missiles are the main target of the F-16. According to Inat, the F-16 pilot initially used all 4 air-to-air missiles. Thus, he shot down 4 Russian cruise missiles. However, the pilot noticed another target and decided to use an aircraft cannon. Shooting down cruise missiles with a cannon is very risky because of the high speed of the target and the danger of detonation, but I did what the instructors in the US taught me, and I managed to hit it. As it turned out, 2 missiles flying next to each other were destroyed at the same time, the pilot told Inat. Ukrainian Air Force noted that this case is unique. For the first time in world history, an F-16 pilot destroyed 6 cruise missiles in one flight, 2 of them with an aircraft gun. At the same time, Inat noted that despite the fact that Ukraine was not provided with the most advanced F-16 modifications, Ukrainian pilots demonstrate exceptional skills every day, making the most of the available equipment. Isn't that absolutely amazing, guys? I mean, even if they're not being given the most advanced F-16 fighter jets, they're still using what they have available to them to make the best of it. And although this fighter pilot had used up all his air-to-air missiles, he also used an aircraft cannon that is also installed on these F-16 fighter jets to shoot down another 2 cruise missiles that were apparently flying right next to each other. So that's a very big report today and a new record set for F-16 fighter pilots. Okay, so now we're going to jump on to some other news that I have over on X for you guys. And we're going to start off talking about this story regarding this precision strike, in the Kursk region. Okay, so this is from Max 24. On January 7, 2025, AFU conducted a precision strike on a military command post of 810th Separate Marine Brigade near Belaya in the Kursk region, according to the General Staff. Okay, so this was a new report coming out today, and I did do a little research to try to find out some more information, see if any mainstream news was actually covering this. At first, there wasn't a whole lot, but then we started to get a few more Ukrainian medias that were starting to pull up this story. So I have this here for you on Ukrainska Pravda. Ukrainian forces hit Russian Marine command post in Kursk Oblast. So it's in the town of Belaya, and most of the fighting is over here. The map is cut off, but if you were to go further towards the west over here, this is where most of the fighting would be in this area. So just a little bit to the east, I don't know, maybe 10 kilometers or so, 20 kilometers, not too far away from where the Ukrainians are at right now is where they carry out this strike, just over the border into the Kursk region. This would be Ukrainian territory down here. So it says Ukrainian Defense Forces have attacked the command post of the 810th Separate Marine Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces near the village of Belaya, Kursk Oblast. General Staff said that on January 7th, the Armed Forces of Ukraine conducted a precision strike on the command post of the 810th Separate Marine Brigade of the Russian Armed Forces near the village of Belaya in Kursk Oblast. As the Ukrainian forces explained, such attacks are an integral part of combat operations of the Ukrainian Defense Forces units engaged in combat operations in the territory of the Russian Federation. And it says, quote, the armed forces of Ukraine will use all available assets to destroy the military units of the Russian Federation that threaten the security of Ukrainian citizens. Okay, so again, this information was just starting to break just in a few hours ago at the time that I record this, so we don't have all the details yet, but we know that a precision strike was carried out into the Kursk region. Now let's hop on back over to X now. And I've got another report here that appears to show some sort of drone attack that did take place in the Kursk region. I wanted to show you this, and allegedly I thought maybe this was connected to that same story. But then when I really started to listen to this video, it really does sound like a drone. It doesn't sound like it was, potentially a missile. And considering the fact that the Ukrainians are saying it was a precision strike, makes me think that most likely missiles were used, maybe ATACMS or Storm Shadow. Yeah, we have a video here for you from War Translated Dmitry. An important military facility attacked in Kursk. This was reported by Andriy Kovalenko, head of the Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council, NSDC of Ukraine. He did not provide further details. Okay, so we don't know all the details of this strike, but they are claiming an important military facility was attacked in Kursk. Okay, so again, I don't know for sure if this video relates to the story that we just talked about in Belaya. But who knows, maybe it's possible. Maybe these were drones that were being used. But go ahead and take a look at this video. It's a little quiet towards the beginning, but then all of a sudden you're going to hear a massive explosion of what sounds to be some sort of drone that was used. Take a look. Okay, so interesting video. So somebody caught this, looks like on like a security camera here on someone's doorstep, and you hear that huge explosion, and all of a sudden there's a flash that lights up this entire building. So I don't know exactly what got hit over here, but it looks like there may have been a massive blaze or something soon after, as this whole apartment unit completely lights up. So I don't know exactly what it was that was hit over here. Let me know what you think down in the comment section of what could have been attacked. Maybe we'll get that information later. Ukraine might reveal this at a later time, but this just literally happened just this morning. You can see here 3:14 a.m. on January 7th was when this was being reported. So sometime in the last 12 hours or so, most likely, is when this attack took place. So let's move on to another update now. This is from Bliskovka. In the morning, Russia's attack Semenivka in the Cherniv region. Again, reports, the regional military administration. I think they messed up on this word. It's supposed to be reports. Three wounded are currently known. 2 men aged 45 and 65, and a 68-year-old woman. An enterprise, buildings, and houses of local residents were damaged. Okay, so major attack over here In the Chernihiv region of Ukraine, we can see some homes that have been destroyed, most likely due to drone attacks. I know that drones were entering into Ukraine last night. I don't think it was a major drone attack, but there was definitely dozens of them that were fired into Ukraine from Russia last night, and we did have some people, unfortunately, that were injured. You can see this woman is injured here, and lots of homes being destroyed. Okay, we've been seeing lots of this inside of Ukraine. Again, very sad to have to report this, but I want to let you guys know what's happening to the innocent people of Ukraine. Okay, now moving on to another update from Military News UA. The Ukrainian military is conducting military tests of new small river kamikaze unmanned boats called the Black Widow 2. The new drone is 1 meter long, weighs 8 kilograms, has speed of up to 40 kilometers per hour, and has a range of up to 10 kilometers. Take a look at this, okay? These are a lot smaller than the Magura V5 drones, and we have shown you guys the Maguras before. They look like a kind of like a small rowboat, but these ones are much smaller, okay? They're much more similar to like a remote control boat that you might see, somebody else using, like a civilian style one. If you ever had any friends or family members that you may have seen one before being used, these are not very big, but apparently these are some new kamikaze boats that they're working on right now. They could use to destroy larger boats or any targets that are in some of the waters. They might even try to use these in the Black Sea. Who knows? But mainly the Magura V5 naval drones are being used in the Black Sea right now. So these could be very effective in the future for the Ukrainians, and they've been starting to test these out. And this was a new photo of that coming out today. So pretty cool to see that. Also from Nexta, a combine harvester in Ukraine's Odessa region narrowly avoided running over a Shahed drone that had crashed in a field. So I thought this was a pretty crazy video. A combine harvester, this is in the Odessa region, was over here harvesting some of their land, and they nearly almost ran over a Shahed drone that had crash landed into this field. And the man allegedly was able to see it just before he was about to run it over. It stopped in time. And imagine if this thing had exploded while he was on this combine harvester. So there is no subtitles in this video, but I want you to take a look at this. Pretty insane video. Just about 57 seconds long. Take a look.
Єбать його, двигун. Агроном сказав, не дай Бог, сука, одну шапку оставите на полі. Получите пизди. То зараз я йому, блядь, дам комбайна, хай нахуй покаже мені, як це зробити. Короче. Блядь, я боюсь підходить. Що це за бочка? Ля! Дай молоток! Зараз перевіримо. Що це за бочечка?
All right, pretty crazy, right? Lots of threats in Ukraine, even if you're not on the front lines and you're far away from where the battle is being fought. They're finding even drones in fields like this. So it's definitely a dangerous place inside of Ukraine. And it looks to me like this drone may have not even exploded on impact, as it appears to be, for the most part, still put together. Okay, it hasn't even really been destroyed for the most part. It looks like also this could be potentially the warhead that was on the front of this unit. Okay, so pretty scary video to see there. So moving on to another update now from War Translated Dmitry. A Russian soldier whines about yet another strike on their equipment, but all he can do is keep recording as it burns. So we got a video here of a Russian soldier and some sort of equipment that he had over here. I'm not sure if it was a vehicle or what it was, but something was struck in this area, and he's going to be complaining about it being destroyed. Take a look at this.
Бля, там что-то разрывается у него еще, блядь. Вот суки.
A few moments later.
Уёбки, блядь.
All right, so if you notice here, he appears to be by himself. No one else is with him, and he's recording something burning over here in the middle of this open field. Now, I wasn't really able to tell exactly what it is that's burning. Let me know what you think down below. I'm not sure if maybe it was a vehicle that he was using. It could be a tank, maybe. Not really sure, but something was definitely struck over here, most likely in eastern Ukraine. That man didn't seem to be very happy about that. Okay, now moving on to another update from Jakub Bielamowicz. That was a little hard to say. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. My apologies. Moldova's government warns the electricity supply system in Russian-occupied Transnistria is at risk of collapse after the halt of Russian gas flow. There is about a 30% energy deficit as residents of Transnistria use electric devices to heat their homes. Okay, so we've been talking about the breakaway region in Moldova called Transnistria that is Russian controlled right now. And recently on January 1st, when the gas got cut off from Russia transporting through Ukraine over to Eastern Europe, Transnistria was heavily hit by this. They don't have any heat right now. They don't have any electricity barely. And sometimes even some areas, no running water. So it looks like they are definitely turning into a humanitarian crisis over there as, energy is even on the verge of collapse over here. So it's not looking good for Transnistria. That was just a little update today. This actually came out from the Kiev Independent today. So very dangerous situation for the people in Transnistria right now. Also from War Translated Dmitry, SSO neutralized a group of North Korean military personnel in the Kursk region showing their personal belongings. Operators from the 8th Regiment of the Special Operations Forces of the Armed Forces of Ukraine eliminated 13 North Korean servicemen, 5 in a firefight, and 8 more using drones. One of them was found with a rifle equipped with a collimator sight, a Chinese-Russian AZART radio station, a drone detector, and an ID that differed from a standard military ID. The item suggests that he may have been part of the officer corps. Okay, so it looks like the Ukrainians are reporting more North Korean soldiers that have been taken out. These are some of the items that they were carrying on them after they searched them. Okay, this is even translated into English right here. I'm assuming that's this paper here that has been translated. We're not going to go over and read it. If you guys want to screenshot that or just go ahead and pause the video, you can read that yourself. But there was a letter here also. And then here's some more pictures of some radios and what appears to be some sort of military identification. And then also some more radios here that have been found on these North Korean soldiers. And I notice here even a broken phone was found on one of these soldiers too, which is interesting. Why would they be carrying phones? It looks like some of them are, okay? So moving on to another update from War Translated Dmitry again. During December 2024, Ukrainian drones hit 54,000 targets, says General Sursky. Okay, this is the general for Ukraine's armed forces, Oleksandr Sursky. And he was reporting that during December, Ukraine hit 54,000 targets with drones. Isn't that insane, guys? I mean, if that happens to be true, that's a lot of drone usage, okay? In just 1 month, imagine that. That is absolutely insane. And we know that the Ukrainians are using drones a lot, okay? Probably much more than even the Russians are using. And lately, what we've been hearing, especially in the Kursk region, is the Ukrainians are using lots of electronic warfare that are bringing down a lot of the Russian drones. But looks like the Ukrainian drones are making several accurate hits, okay? Or actually more than several, thousands of accurate hits just in the last month. And we've seen so much video. I've even shown you guys video footage of a lot of these FPV drones that are used. And Ukraine has thousands of these that they use at their disposal every single day. All right, also from Anton Gerashenko, Russians complain about growing prices for groceries and commonly used stuff. Inflation in Russia continues its growth as Putin throws more and more money into the war. In November, the official monthly inflation in Russia amounted to 1.5%, and in December, according to all forecasts, it should be more than 2%. If this trend continues, the official annual inflation alone will amount to 20 to 30%, Russian economist Shurayev notes. At the same time, real consumer inflation, i.e., the one customers see in stores, may be even higher, according to Russia's Romir Human Institute, which published data on consumer inflation until September 2024. It is 3 times higher than official inflation. High inflation is related to the Russian central bank's actions. Central bank has already stopped raising the key rate. This is pushing up inflation even more because inflation expectations, i.e. fear of rising prices, have now skyrocketed, Shurayev says. Therefore, growth of 75% for everything is a working forecast, not pessimistic or optimistic, but working, Shurayev insists. All right, so there is a video here Unfortunately, it does have some music in it, so I can't play the video here for you. But it was allegedly just a video of lots of Russian citizens that were complaining about the prices in the stores, even like deodorant. There are basic things that they buy in the store, especially butter right now is probably one of the uh, highest cost products that have been affected by inflation in Russia. But so many different items. Okay, you can see here even shaving foam. They're talking about 520 rubles, $4.70 just to shave. Okay, so it's getting very expensive to live in Russia right now, and I'm very curious to see how they're going to solve their inflation problem. As they even stopped raising the rates here, as it talks about with the central bank. They left it, I think, at 21%, and they haven't raised it any further. And we've been talking about the high inflation in Russia recently, and it looks like it's continuing to worsen every single day as we see more information come out. Okay, moving on to another update from War Translated Dmitry. Lukashenko accused Zelensky of trying to drag Belarus into a war. The self-proclaimed Belarusian leader assured that if his country is dragged into the war, it may not be able to withstand it as a state. This small island, Belarus, is not as small as I think, but it is a peaceful island. And they are under pressure. They are under pressure. So we need to be dragged into this war. Why does Volodymyr Zelensky behave like this? We were on good terms with him, on good terms. Why is he waffling? What is he missing? He has been given a command. We must do everything possible to drag the country into war, Lukashenko said. The old man must have forgotten to take his medicine again. That's what War Translated Dmitry said. So yeah, I mean we've been seeing Alexander Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, coming out a lot, warning that they've been placing their military on their border with Ukraine, and warning Ukraine not to attack them. Coming out with lots of crazy statements that Ukraine's preparing to invade Belarus also, and all this crazy rhetoric just coming from this president here. And this was something new that he said today, that Zelensky is apparently trying to drag Belarus into this war. I mean, let me know what you think down below. Do you think he's telling the truth, or do you think that he's just trying to saber rattle, or what's going on here? Don't really know, but it's been very mysterious coming out from Belarus over the last probably 3 to 4 months. We've been seeing lots of reports like this, mainly coming from Alexander Lukashenko, okay? So thought I'd share that with you. Also from the Ukrainian Review in 2024, Ukraine actually reached pre-war trade figures. We exported almost 130 million tons of goods worth more than 41 billion, according to the Prime Minister Denis Shmyhal. Such volumes were made possible thanks to Sea Corridor and work of ports, which handled more than 97 million tons of cargo in 2024. Okay, so this is a very big report, okay? Ukraine's at war with Russia right now, and they're actually able to reach pre-war trade figures, okay? So they're able to get their trade numbers back up and start producing income for their nation. Ukraine's a very big exporter as well, especially with grain. So this was a big report coming out today from Denis Shmyhal. Looks like they were able to reach their pre-war trade figures once again. So good news for Ukraine. Also from Max 24, Sikorsky, who is Radoslaw Sikorsky from Poland, it says we may soon face strong pressure to reach an agreement with Moscow. But what kind of deal can a reasonable Europe agree to? Certainly not a simple agreement that will allow Moscow to recover. Europe is much stronger than Russian leaders believe. Russia is much weaker than many Europeans think. According to him, Ukraine deserves and needs peace, but it must be peace on fair terms, not capitulation. Okay, so he's saying that Ukraine should not surrender to Russia, that they need good security guarantees. Ukraine's already been talking about that, and that they need to make sure that also that Russia is not going to be given the opportunity to attack Ukraine ever again. And they don't want to give Russia a break at the same time where they can rebuild their forces, get all their supplies back in order, and then launch another attack onto Ukraine again. This was a report coming out from Radoslaw Sikorsky today. I believe he's the foreign minister from Poland. Okay, also from War Monitor, Russian naval base. The port of Tartus is seen packed with withdrawn military equipment from Syria ready to be transferred out. Okay, so these were new pictures coming out today from Tartus, which is a military base, a naval base in Syria, allegedly showing what appears to be military equipment on the base getting ready to be withdrawn out of there. You can see a lot of it just laying out here in that lot there, and here's even more of it, okay? And you can see some of Russia's warships here too, is what that looks like. So it looks like the Russians could be pulling out completely from Syria very soon. Now, I haven't been able to get complete confirmation on whether they are completely pulling out. I'm not sure if they're going to partially stay there. We've even heard that they may be transferring some of their equipment over to Africa, so maybe that's what they're doing here. But it looks like they are removing a lot of their equipment from Syria here very soon. Also from NOAA reports, North Korean 170mm Koksan self-propelled artillery systems are now actively used by Russian forces in against Ukraine. Previously, several train loads carrying these artillery systems were spotted in Russia. Excuse me. So we've actually talked about this story multiple times. I've shown you guys several videos of these artillery guns that are coming from North Korea, and it looks like we have a new video of what appears to show one of these on the front line near Ukraine, or maybe in eastern Ukraine. Don't really know exactly where this was taken at, but take a look at this. Looks like somebody was able to capture video footage of one up close.
О, блядь. Ким Чен Ын подарил нам. Корейская артиллерия.
All right, as far as we know, Russia has dozens of these, maybe hundreds by now. As again, I've shown you guys video footage of train loads of these Koksan artillery guns being shipped from North Korea over to Russia. And it looks like one of these were able to be located under some trees over here. Okay, so that's one of the first video footage or videos that we've seen come out of these actually being used on the front line inside of Ukraine. Okay, so moving on to another update from Igor Sushko. Russia's bombing Russia nearly 3 years into its 3-day special military operation to take Ukraine. This is Sudzha under control by Ukrainian armed forces in the Kursk region. So I've got a new video also for you guys showing strikes inside of Sudzha, which is Ukrainian controlled in the Kursk region. And this is probably one of the first videos I've been able to find of actual strikes against the Ukrainians over here in the Kursk region. And Sudzha is a major command post for the Ukrainians, and one of the first cities that they took over whenever they pushed in back in August of last year. Okay, so this is new video footage coming out today showing the Russians bombing their own town. Okay, so isn't that crazy to think about that? You know, Ukraine's been off fighting this war in their own country, and then all of a sudden back in August they launched this major military incursion into Russia, and I'm sure Russia was not even expecting that. So far, it appears to be pretty successful, okay? And they've been taking over a good amount of land. They just launched a new offensive a couple days ago and probably gaining more territory over here. So new video footage coming out from Sudzha today. Now also from Max 24 in Russia, trains continue to derail in a strange way. Russia no context. In this case, yesterday 39 cars with coal derailed at once. 200 to 250 meters of track are blocked. A large amount of special equipment is needed to fix it. Okay, guys, so yet again, probably 20 or 25 or more times now that I have reported of cargo trains, especially with coal a lot of times, derailing all over Russia. Now, I did see a report earlier. Somebody claimed this was in Transnistria, but I don't know 100%. Everybody else just saying this is in Russia. Yeah, it looks like we did have another cargo train that derailed here, but take a look at this. Pretty insane, guys. It's been happening so much all over Russia recently.
Локомотив 029 с 16-го разъезда применил экстренное торможение на 12 километрах в час. До 461 километра локомотив развил скорость до 65 километров в час. После чего произошел расцеп полувагонов. И вагоны сошли в количестве, как я говорил, 39 штук. Для устранения требуются экскаваторы, краны и 200-250 метров рельсов.
All right, pretty crazy video. So it seems like almost every week, at least once or twice, we're seeing these cargo trains just derailing all over the place in Russia. And yeah, I want to say at least once a week I show you guys one of these videos. So it's pretty crazy to be seeing all these derailed trains everywhere. And for the most part, I'm noticing a lot of times they always have coal on them. So let me know what you think down below, why these trains are derailing. Are these sabotage events? That's what I'm thinking most likely. Maybe these are partisans, or maybe it's Ukraine's GUR, their intelligence directorate. Who knows what's going on here? But yeah, lots of rail cars here that are derailing all over the place. Now for Max 24, we got a couple updates left for you before we get you out of here. This says Ukrainian Air Force shot down 28 of 38 Russian UAVs, 10 UAVs lost due to electronic warfare. Okay, so here's an update with the amount of drones going into Ukraine last night. So only 38, okay? Yesterday, I think it was like 120 or something like that they were reported. So much less than yesterday, but we definitely had some strikes inside of Ukraine, although there were only 38 Russian UAVs, much less than normal, that were flying into Ukraine just last night. Finally, one last update from the Kyiv Independent. These are the indicative estimates of Russia's combat losses as of January 7th, according to the Armed Forces of Ukraine. Okay, guys, final update here. Russia's losses as of January 7th, and it says here 1,970 troops, definitely a lot higher than it has been recently. 25 AFVs, 170 vehicles and fuel tanks, 10 tanks, 45 artillery systems, 83 UAVs, 2 MLRS, 4 anti-aircraft warfare. These are probably the ones that were destroyed yesterday that they're adding in there, as we reported that major strikes down in the Kherson region with several anti-aircraft warfare systems also. Okay, so that's going to be it though, guys. Lots of updates coming out today from Ukraine. And again, a very big story today is Ukrainian F-16 pilot set a new record of 6 Russian missiles downed. So pretty insane news. I want to know what you guys think about all this. Share your thoughts, concerns, and opinions down in the comment section. But that's going to be it for today's update. If you got something out of this, please smash that like button. Also, if you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. And with that, hope you all have a great day. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.